Hey everyone, I'm Ashes,
And I'm Will.
and
And
this
this
is
is
Ashes
Ashes
and
and
Will
Will
Do
Do
Disney.
Disney. Each week, one of us will tell the other the history, facts, and stories behind the rides and attractions of Disney that have made special memories for generations.
Keep in mind that Ashes and Will Do Disney is not affiliated with or employed by the Walt Disney Company, and our views and opinions do not reflect theirs.
Now it's time to sit back, relax, and put on your ears because it's time for Ashes and Will Do Disney. Back again. How are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Ready to go again?
I am. Okay, so I wanted to start this episode. I found this fun little thing. I found Esmeralda the Fortune Teller.
Ooh, from Hunchback of Notre Dame.
I guess. I'm not going to lie, I didn't know. I just found it on the Disney app and I was like, this looks cool.
Okay.
It says, no trip down Main Street, USA is truly complete until you pay a visit to the Penny Arcade's fortune-telling gypsy. What story will Esmeralda's prophecy reveal to you? Also, I just want to say that some people are offended by the word gypsy, so I apologize because that's the word that they used.
It's on the website.
It's on the website. So, anyways, ready to play and see what your fortune is?
I would love to see what my fortune is.
Okay. Well, now we gotta wait a second. I got the spinning wheel.
Probably should have made sure it was ready to go before you.
I mean,
you
it
hit
was.
Me with
All
it.
I had to do is hit play, and now it's gonna take forever to load, and I get judging eyes from you. You want to sing everyone a song real quick while it loads?
I do not want to sing everybody's song real quick. I'm going to pass on that to make sure we don't lose our listeners.
Hey, we have like a whole, like maybe 30 of them. And hey, shout out to the one guy in France or girl that listens to us because they have been loyal every week coming back. So,
Granted, it could potentially be a VPN that's masking where they actually are, but if it's not, we definitely appreciate our French listener.
either way, it makes me excited. And I also have no clue why this isn't loading. Okay, so just kidding. Apparently we have to actually go to Disneyland to have Esmeralda read our fortune.
So we're going?
I mean, I don't know if I can get a flight this late, but I did find Mickey and Minnie trivia with mouse rules do apply.
Let's do it.
Okay. So, the category is all things Disney.
Okay.
This actor quacked audiences up for over 50 years as the voice of this character. Choose both names.
Ooh.
Okay, so Goofy, Donald. I figure that one's obvious. Pinto Colvig, Clarence Nash.
Donald, Clarence Nash.
Oh, nice job. You got it.
Boom.
I mean, clearly you'd get Donald, but... Fun fact, when Walt Disney heard Clarence Nash's distinctive voice, he thought it would be perfect for a new animal character, Donald Duck. It was the first case where the voice came before the face.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't know that. How tall was the sorcerer's hat that was unveiled at Disney's Hollywood Studios in 2001? 100 feet, 50 feet, 23 feet, 28 feet.
What was the second choice?
150, 23, 28.
I'm going to say 100.
Yep.
All right.
They tried to throw you off. Good job.
I almost went with 50, but I decided to go with 100.
Yeah. Fun fact, an icon of Disney's Hollywood Studios for almost 15 years, the sorcerer's hat weighs 27 tons.
Wow.
And was a size 605 and 7/8.
Oh. That would not fit my small head.
It would not. Mickey Mouse loves posing for photos with friends. What's Mickey's Instagram handle? I didn't know he had one.
Didn't know he had one, but I mean, I guess we're in that day and age.
Yep. So, at Mickey True Original, at Mickey Mouse, at Club Mickey Mouse, or at Disney D23.
Read him one more time.
At Mickey True Original, at Mickey Mouse, at Club Mickey Mouse, at Disney D23.
Let's do the true original.
Nope. At Mickey Mouse.
Just at Mickey Mouse.
Yep.
Seemed too obvious.
I know. He snatched that one. He had to get on Instagram early to grab that one.
Right.
Fun fact, as of 2020, at Mickey Mouse has over 2.6 million followers on Instagram. Oh boy. I can't do the Mickey voice. I am not one of them. I maybe should be, though.
Yeah, I probably should be.
Mickey Mouse has received many honors in his life. What did he get in 1978 that would forever shine bright in Hollywood history? I bet you know this.
Without choices, I'm going to say a star on the Walk of Fame.
So that's one of the choices, star on Hollywood Walk of Fame. There's the handprints at the Chinese Theater, exhibit at Ripley's Believe It or Not, or wax figure at Madame Tussauds. You going to stick with the star?
Let's stick with the star.
Wow, you got it.
Hooray!
Fun fact, on Mickey's 50th anniversary, he became the first cartoon character to ever receive a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Woohoo!
I wonder what other characters have cartoon characters have stars.
A lot of them.
Well, you know I don't watch
I
cartoons.
mean, a lot of them do.
More than 3 million of these souvenirs are taken home each year from both the Disneyland Resort and Walt Disney World Resort. Mickey Mouse ear hats, Mickey Mouse shorts, Mickey Mouse yellow slippers, or Mickey Mouse gloves.
I'm going to say the ear hats.
That would be my guess. Correct.
Though I do want some shorts now.
I know. Those would be fun. Fun fact, since opening day back in 1955, more than 84 million Mickey Mouse ear hats have been taken home by guests of the Disneyland Resort.
We've got a couple of our own.
We do. Well, I wonder if they specifically mean hats, or do the just ears on the headbands count?
I don't know.
Okay, this loyal pal of Mickey Mouse became a star when one of his shorts won an Academy Award. Mortimer, Pluto, Clarabelle, or Goofy?
Pluto.
I mean, that's my guess. Yep. Great job. Fun fact, Pluto was first referred to by name back in 1931. Only a decade later, he appeared in the film Lend a Paw, which won the Academy Award for Best Animated Short.
Oh.
We might have to look that one up.
Take
see
a
if we
peek
can
at that
find
one.
it. Yeah, Lend a Paw. Okay. The latest Mickey Mouse cartoons use this form of animation to make the characters look bendy. A rubber hose, stop animation, rotoscoping, or 3D. I mean, we've watched the cartoons.
I mean, I would say 3D.
Nope. Oh.
Is it roto?
It's rubber hose.
Oh.
I mean,
okay.
I guess their arms kind of look like a rubber hose.
Sure.
Fun fact, according to Paul Ruddish, executive producer of the current Mickey Mouse shorts, this classic animation style allows the characters to feel extra flexible and move as freely as spaghetti noodles.
Oh.
Okay, last question.
Okay.
When Daisy Duck first made her cartoon debut, she had a different name. What was it? I had no clue. Daphne Duck, Dixie Duck, Dolly Duck, or Donna Duck?
I feel like it's Dixie.
Okay, let's try it. Nope. Well, you got 3 wrong.
Wow.
Donna.
Donna, okay.
I mean, you figure there was Mortimer Mouse first, so...
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they changed the name because Donna and Donald just didn't sound as good.
I do like Donald and Daisy better.
Agreed.
Fun fact, a daisy by any other name is just as sweet. That wasn't really a fact, but...
That's more of a statement.
I mean, of course Disney still gave you a good score and didn't, obviously point out the fact that you missed 3 wrong, but
That's
I
still
will.
a passing grade.
So, I mean, is it?
Yes.
Okay, what have you got for me today?
All right, so I've been working on this for a while and kind of had my nose in the books here to get this all done.
I know you keep talking about your trilogy.
My trilogy, right? Now, what famous trilogies do you know of?
Well, I mean, the only thing that comes to mind, seeing as it's in Disney, would probably be Star Wars.
We're doing Star Wars,
oh,
baby.
Man, I'm sure everyone's going to be super excited about this because most of the world, I feel like Star Wars, and I know approximately very little about Star Wars.
You do know approximately very little.
So I'm excited to see what you have to say.
Yeah, now don't get me wrong. I would say I'm not as diehard of a fan as a lot of people out there. I'm more of a casual fan of Star Wars, but I do enjoy Star Wars. And as mentioned, this is going to be a trilogy because there's so much that goes into Star Wars.
Oh my gosh, I feel like you could literally just make an entire podcast devoted to Star Wars.
Right, exactly. And so we are going to do this one in 3 parts. So this is episode 1, if you will, of 3 episodes that are going to be dedicated to Star Wars.
Perfect. In my head, I can just see those yellow letters flying backwards into the galaxy right now.
Okay, so Star Wars. The original trilogy started in 1977. It started with episodes 4 through 6.
Which was always weird to me. I never understood that one.
That's just where George Lucas started it. Now, what were the original episodes? What were episodes 4 through 6?
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I could have told you that it was 4 through 6. I knew that much. The Empire Strikes Back, I think, is
That's the second one. So that's episode 5.
Cool. I feel like you should be proud of me for knowing
for at least getting that one. All right.
That's
so
all I've got. And I know there's Luke and Leia, R2-D2, and Chewbacca.
So episode 4 is A New Hope. Episode 5 is The Empire Strikes Back. And episode 6 is The Return of the Jedi. Obviously, this is blown up. It's expanded into other films, television, books, comics, video games, and theme park attractions.
It is huge. Which, honestly, I think is why I barely know anything about it, is because I feel like I'm intimidated by it. Like,
it's a lot.
I can't just watch one movie and be like, oh yeah, I like Star Wars. Like, I would have to, days, hours, days worth of diving into this. So
it's quite a bit. In 2020, the value of the franchise is estimated around $70 billion.
Just Star Wars.
Just Star Wars.
Wow.
And it's the 5th highest grossing franchise of all time.
Wow.
So let's look at the plot of Star Wars. It takes place a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Haha.
There are humans, aliens, which are often humanoid, and droids that exist or coexist together. They travel between planets, and that's possible because of light speed hyperspace technology. Communication was through two-way audio-visual on screens and via holographic projection. So you think about in the beginnings of A New Hope, you've got R2-D2 showing up, and it's got the projection of Princess Leia. Oh, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're our only hope.
Oh, I really like your voice.
Thank you. It's sweet, right?
It was so sweet.
There's a big focus on the Force.
Yes.
What can you tell me? What is the Force?
Oh my gosh. There's May 4th. May the 4th be with you.
So the Force is a mystical power described as an energy field created by all living things that bind the galaxy together. Those with whom the Force is strong can manipulate it to perform tasks with superpowers, such as telekinesis.
Ooh, I want some.
Right? There are 2 entities that wield the Force. There's the Jedi.
Ooh, and Yoda.
Like Yoda. They're the peacekeepers of the Galactic Republic, and they use the light side of the Force, through non-attachment and arbitration. So they make kind of a big deal about this in some of the other movies. It's almost like a priesthood. Like, Jedi aren't supposed to get married. They're not supposed to have attachment to the material.
Oh.
They're supposed to be focused solely on the Force so they don't get distracted from the light side.
I guess that makes sense. It sounds a little boring, but...
Gotta be dedicated, though. Then there's the Sith, who use the dark side of the Force through manipulating fear and aggression.
Oh, cool. That's the red guy.
The red guy.
Yeah, with the black stuff on his face.
Darth Maul is who you're referring
Yeah, that
to.
one.
The Jedi are numerous, but the Sith keep their numbers limited to 2 at a time, a Darth and their apprentice.
Oh, see, I did not know that.
See, there's a new fact. And so there's a game I actually have. It's called The Force Unleashed. And it's about Darth Vader taking on his own apprentice, which is against the rules because there's only supposed to be 2. And the Emperor is his master, and so it's supposed to be the Emperor and Darth Vader, that's it.
Lord help me. I didn't even know that Darth Vader wasn't, like, the, head honcho, so...
Compared to the general population, those who can manipulate the Force are limited in number. Force wielders prefer lightsabers as their weapon of choice, whereas many others in the galaxy use blaster firearms or guns.
Gotcha.
So swords and guns, basically.
I mean, clearly. But these ones light up, so they're cooler.
They're cooler. There are also bounty hunters that work for hire, either through gangsters or the government.
Stormtroopers? Like
Not
that?
Stormtroopers, so
Oh,
think the
it's different.
Mandalorian.
Oh, Lord. All I know from the Mandalorian is Baby Yoda. It's not actually Yoda.
So Stormtroopers, we'll talk a little bit more about them here in a bit, but no, they are not the bounty hunters.
Oh, okay. No clue then.
There are crime syndicates throughout the galaxy, the most famous being the Hutt Cartel, so Jabba the Hutt.
Okay, got that one.
So he's the big crime boss, the most well-known crime boss.
Okay, cool.
Let's talk a little bit more about the movies.
Okay.
So the film series is based around the original trilogy, known as the Skywalker Saga.
Luke and Leia.
Luke and Leia.
Yeah.
The Skywalkers. The chronological release started with episodes 4 through 6, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, which spanned from 1977 to 1983. Then we went back to the prequel trilogy, episodes 1 through 3, The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith, between 1999 and 2005. Then we have the sequel trilogies, episodes 7 through 9. This is the Disney era. The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker between 2015 and 2019.
Those ones I've literally not seen at all. The rest of them I've at least, I've seen the original 3 a good couple times because I remember growing up and watching them with my dad.
Mm-hmm, sure.
Numbers 1 through 3, I'm pretty sure I saw with you at the movie theater.
You saw 3 with me at the movie theater.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I saw all of them, but just one, once.
Right.
And then I absolutely know I have not seen the last ones because I sent you with your mom to the movie theater
not
to
quite.
watch them.
You did see The Last Jedi. We did go see that for Christmas with your mom and your brother.
Oh, Lord. I probably
So
slept through that, too.
You saw it. So for those who don't know, Ashley will watch a movie, and literally a week later, she could see a preview for the movie and be like, that looks cool, we should watch it.
It's true story. Guys, I swear I'm smart, but me and movies, I just don't have the attention span. I'm not good at watching movies. I just don't remember them. Honestly, it works out really well, though, in my favor, because I can watch a movie and be like, wow, that was awesome, because I don't remember anything.
You can have a new experience multiple times.
Yeah,
watching the same thing.
I swear I'm actually smart in real life. It's just not with movies.
Okay. Each trilogy focuses on an aspect of the Skywalker family. So the original trilogy focuses on Luke Skywalker. The prequel trilogy focuses on Anakin Skywalker, which is...
his dad.
Which is...
I don't know, the kid in the first movie?
It's Darth Vader.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay, cool. I knew that, but didn't piece that together. Okay, cool.
Now, the sequel trilogy focuses, as far as Skywalkers go, is Kylo Ren, who is Luke Skywalker's nephew. He's basically the Vader of the new trilogy.
But is it Leia's kid then? Or did they have other siblings?
It's Leia and Han Solo's kid.
Oh, okay.
We do have other films that are prequels to the original trilogy. There's Rogue One, which is focused on the team of rebels that steal the plans to the Death Star, leading into A New Hope. And then there's Solo, which is the origin story for Han Solo and Chewbacca, with an appearance from Phantom Menace villain Darth Maul. We have to talk about the original trilogy, of course. That's what started it all.
Yeah, so let me ask a question about the original series, though.
Okay.
That I've never quite understood as a very not Star Wars-y kind of person. So my understanding is they started with episodes 4 through 6, which to me makes it sound like this was a book series, books number 1 through 9, but that's not true, was it? It was just something that George Lucas had in his head, right?
Yeah.
It's
so
not
let's
based
talk
off
a little
books.
bit more about it.
Okay.
Okay.
Which is so weird to me. Like, if it's not based off books, why start in the middle of a story?
Oh my gosh, Ashley, because it's brilliant.
Oh, okay.
In 1971, George Lucas wanted to make his own adaptation of Flash Gordon. He wasn't able to obtain the rights, so he started his own space opera. He wrote
Star Wars is a space opera?
It's a space opera.
Okay.
He wrote a 2-page synopsis that 20th Century Fox invested in. The first draft was written by 1974. A New Hope, Episode 4, was released on May 25th, 1977. The Empire Strikes Back, May 21st, 1980. And Return of the Jedi, May 25th, 1983. So this nice 3-year increment, every May you got a Star Wars movie.
That's fun.
There was a focus on Luke Skywalker becoming a Jedi and working with the Rebel Alliance to gain freedom from the Galactic Empire, run by Emperor Palpatine, aka Darth Sidious, and Darth Vader. Spoiler, Darth Vader is Luke's father.
Oh, no, I did know that one.
Yeah, you should have known that one. There is a big misquote. It's so minor, but it is a big misquote from the movies. When Darth Vader is revealing that he is Luke's father, it is often requoted as, "Luke, I am your father." But he actually says, "No, I am your father."
Oh.
See, it's a very little detail.
But still.
But it's a big misquote.
Wow.
Let's talk about the prequel trilogy a little bit.
I mean, logically, that seems like the place to start.
No.
Okay.
So the ideas for the prequel trilogy entered development in the 80s. In the 1980s, Lucas confirmed that he had a 9-film trilogy outlined, a trilogy of trilogies.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Initially, Lucas felt so much stress producing the original trilogy that in 1981, he had canceled any plans for the other trilogies.
Well, there's a big letdown.
But that was a lot to produce.
He's the one who had the idea for a trilogy of trilogies.
He did. But advancements in computer technology that provided the skill of making CGI characters inspired Lucas to reconsider making more films. In 1992, he stated his intent to create the prequel trilogies. In 1997, the original trilogy was re-released in theaters, with CGI updates that Lucas wanted for his new trilogy.
What do you mean re-released, though?
So, in the 1970s and early 80s, these movies had gone out. They re-released
got you.
it.
I'm sorry. So they did the first 3, but not the first 3. 4, 5, and 6.
They re-released 4, 5, and 6 into the movie theaters with CGI updates.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, which my mom actually took me to see that. She took me to see A New Hope, where they had updated and put Jabba the Hutt in the movie, and that, I think, is what started, again, it's a casual fandom, but that's what started it, because I remember going to see that movie with her.
Yeah.
And then I went home and watched Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, like, all that night. It was over, like, spring break that she took me to see it.
I just remember, because, dating ourselves, back then, buying the VHS tapes of the re-released ones then that were enhanced. I do know what you're talking about now, and buying them for my dad, and it was such a huge deal to have these VHSs, and it was like, what, $100 or something for the trilogy? Like, it was super expensive. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So our prequel trilogy, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, that released on May 19th, 1999.
Oh, good. Keeping in the month of May.
Keeping in the month of May, Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, May 16th, 2002.
Okay.
Episode 3, the one you went and saw with me, midnight premiere, Revenge of the Sith, May 19th, 2005.
I remember standing in line for that more than I remember the movie.
And the only reason we stood in line for that is because our friend that I worked at Kmart with, he wanted to be the first one in line, and we felt bad making him stay there the whole time.
And boy, were we the first ones in line.
We were the first ones in line. Now, Revenge of the Sith, little fun fact, that is the first PG-13 movie in the franchise.
Ooh,
scandalous, right? The prequel trilogies were set 32 years before A New Hope.
Okay.
It follows the story of Anakin Skywalker and his Jedi training and eventual fall from grace to becoming the Sith Lord, Darth Vader.
Gotcha.
It also shows how the Galactic Republic was corrupted into becoming the Empire. Lucas refers to the first 6 episodes as the tragedy of Darth Vader. Oh. And now we have the Sequel Trilogy. Remember, Lucas had initially stated that he intended the films to be a 9-movie trilogy. The original idea of the Sequel Trilogy was to focus on Luke rebuilding the Republic, with Luke being in a similar role to Obi-Wan Kenobi. After Lucas started working on the prequel trilogies, he decided that the series was better as a 6-part story, and there would not be a sequel trilogy.
You know, this guy likes to change his mind a lot.
He likes to just kind of end it and not do it anymore. But, as we know, he sold to Disney in 2012 and announced he would make no more Star Wars movies because he was now putting it in the hands of someone else to make Star Wars movies.
Did he at least, leave them that, sheet of paper he wrote before?
Well, we'll get to that. That's
okay.
Remember, there's a lot of Star Wars to cover.
There is a lot of Star Wars to cover.
Okay. So, the sequel trilogies, or the Disney era, we have Episode 7, The Force Awakens, and I'm going to tell you something about the dates here, and we're going to get into that a little bit later on why they're different.
Okay.
The Force Awakens was released on December 16th, 2015, so no longer in May.
Not in May.
Episode 8, The Last Jedi, December 13th, 2017. Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, December 18th, 2019. So we got them around Christmas time.
Yeah, I was
now.
They're going for those Christmas dollars.
No, not necessarily.
Oh.
Again,
okay,
not necessarily in this episode, but we're going to talk more about this.
Okay, cool.
So while the prequel trilogies took place 32 years before the original trilogy, the sequels take place 30 years after the Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
There's a focus on a character named Rey, female lead.
Okay.
She is force sensitive, and it focuses on her fight against the First Order as a member of the Resistance.
Okay.
So in the originals, we've got the Empire and the Rebels.
Gotcha.
Now we have the First Order and the Resistance.
Okay.
There are also anthology films. The current anthology films that are out, we touched on them briefly. There's Rogue One, where they're stealing the plans to the Death Star, and Solo, which is about Han Solo and Chewbacca.
Okay.
And they are tagged with a Star Wars story. So it's Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
Gotcha.
Solo, a Star Wars story. More anthology films are expected to be released, but they took a break after the release of Rise of Skywalker.
So where does Mandalorian fit in then?
So Mandalorian is actually between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens.
So
it's pretty much after
6 and 7.
So it ends. Episode 6 ends the original trilogy. Episode 7 starts the new one. Mandalorian happens not too long after the original trilogy. So
aren't you proud I got? Oh no, that's between 6 and 7.
Between 6 and 7,
I
you
got
got
it right.
You got it. All right, there's additional movies. I actually remember watching a couple of these movies as a kid, and I'm okay leaving them in my past. I don't need to see them again.
Oh dear.
They have the Ewok Adventure, and people are they either love Ewoks or they hate them. I'm on that side of I don't really care about them.
But they're little and cute. They
So
look like
you
they're
would
like the
probably love
little
'em.
teddy bear things in a cloak.
There's also Ewoks, The Battle of Endor. the Battle for Endor, and the Star Wars Holiday Special. The Holiday Special. So my friend from Kmart, who I referenced earlier, who we stood in line with to be first one,
yeah,
he had a copy of the Star Wars Holiday Special.
I just have a hard time picturing like Darth Vader around a Christmas tree.
Well, it's to celebrate Life Day and get Chewbacca home to his family on time to celebrate Life Day with his family.
Okay.
Now, there's a point in this movie, though, that it's pretty much where I turned it off. I couldn't finish it.
Ugh.
It's a solid 15 minutes of Chewbacca's family, like talking and arguing and doing their like Wookiee grunts and growls. It's a solid 15 minutes of that. And normally in Star Wars, Chewbacca has Han Solo to like essentially translate for him. So he does his little growl and Han Solo's like, oh, I know we shouldn't go that way, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
But it's 15 minutes of these Wookiees doing all their grunts and growls with no one to tell you what they're saying, and there's no subtitles. So it's just them like growling and interacting for like 15 minutes, and you don't actually know what's happening, other than that they're getting ready for Chewbacca to come home for Life Day.
I mean, it just sounds like normal family drama.
I mean, yeah, but you didn't know what it was actually about. Okay, so lots of television series.
Oh.
So there were 2 animated shows in the 1980s, and there were more animated series in the 2000s.
Again, not ever anything I would watch.
Probably not. One of the biggest animated series was The Clone Wars, which takes place between episode 2 and episode 3.
Okay.
And it was extremely popular to where like they had 6 seasons of it, I think. And then it ended. It got canceled essentially.
Oh, wow.
But with Disney Plus, they brought it back for its final 7th season to wrap up the story.
Huh.
There's also Droids, Ewoks, Rebels, Resistance, The Bad Batch, which is the most recent animated series on Disney Plus.
Oh, geez. See, it's overwhelming. There's so much.
There's so much, and Disney just keeps going. They have a plan for 8 Star Wars series on Disney Plus.
Wow.
The first being, we've talked a little bit about it, is The Mandalorian.
And they're going to make 7 more?
Supposedly. Well, we've got The Bad Batch, so that's on there now, too.
So 6 more.
So now we get into some of the true life behind stories, or Star Wars, and we're going to look at the historical themes. There's a big focus on political science, the struggle between democracy and dictatorship.
Okay, I get it.
Because we've got the Republic with Palpatine trying to take over as the Emperor. He's sneaky about it. He doesn't just come out and say that's what he's trying to do.
Sounds like a good excuse to watch Star Wars in your civics class.
Yeah, sure. Or write a paper on it for your civics class.
My civics class wasn't that cool.
Darth Vader's design was based on a samurai warrior with a German military helmet.
Okay, I can totally see that.
Sure. The Sith were a group that served the Emperor, the same way military organizations served Hitler.
Okay, again, I can see it.
Yeah, but it was condensed into the character of Darth Vader serving Darth Sidious, who was Emperor Palpatine.
Okay.
Stormtroopers, straight up, were World War I German soldiers. That was a name for those.
Okay.
The Imperial officers in the movie wear uniforms similar to World War II German officers.
Okay.
There's even World War II terms that were used in the movie. So there's 2 planets, Kessel and Hoth.
Okay.
Kessel refers to a group of encircled forces, and Hoth is named for a German general, Hermann Hoth, who served on the Eastern Front. Palpatine started off as a chancellor, and they talk about that a little bit more in the prequel trilogies, and then he becomes emperor. This is very similar to Hitler, who was a chancellor, later naming himself the Führer, or the leader.
Okay.
There was a great Jedi Purge, which is based on the Night of the Long Knives. When Hitler was a chancellor, he ordered a series of extrajudicial executions, meaning they weren't legal, like no judge said, yes, go ahead and carry these out.
Gotcha.
And it was done with the intent of consolidating his power. So essentially, he was taking out other leader figures to make sure there was no one to challenge him when he wanted to take over.
Makes sense.
This is what Order 66 was based on in Episode 3. This was executed by Palpatine to eliminate the Jedi as a force that stood against him as the Emperor.
Okay, so I can see where George Lucas grew up, you know, in an era where this was like a really big thing, and then he turned it into, you know,
made it a fun science fiction
cooler
story.
Than what, you know, really happened.
The corruption of the Galactic Republic was modeled after the fall of the Roman Republic and the formation of the Roman Empire. So we went from a republic to an empire.
Okay.
The flag of the empire is similar in appearance to the flag of the Nazi Party.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so it's basically a red flag with a black and white emblem for the empire right in the center.
Okay.
Whereas the Nazi Party is a red flag with a swastika in the center of it. We talk kind of heavy stuff there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, the historical accuracies behind it, so to speak. So now let's talk about something fun with Star Wars.
Oh, I love fun stuff.
Fun stuff. So the show, The Toys That Made Us on Netflix.
Yes.
There's a whole episode about Star Wars merchandise. So Toys for Star Wars made $14 billion.
I am not even shocked by that number.
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
Now, the Star Wars franchise started shopping for toy producers 6 months before the movie came out.
Oh, that's not a lot of time
No.
to get toys, like, up and out.
Right. Usually you have to do that 2 years before a movie is slated to release.
Yeah, no kidding.
But George Lucas wanted to keep things secret what he was doing, so he waited essentially till the last minute to get the toys up and running.
I get it. I mean, nowadays you go to Target and you see toys for movies that aren't even released yet.
They're not even out.
Like we saw that with Onward and
Onward, Raya and the Last Dragon had
all
toys
of
before it was
those.
even released. So these movies that you don't even know the plot of have toys out.
Yeah, and our kids already want all the toys for them before they've even seen the movie.
Right, right. So one of the biggest toy companies, Mattel, said no when they were looking for it.
Ooh, regrets now.
Regrets now. So they went with the smaller company of Kenner.
I see, still haven't heard of them.
I had some Kenner toys. Granted, I had some Star Wars toys too.
Well, I mean.
Now, back then, most toy companies were making their action figures 12 inches, so they were a foot tall.
Okay.
But they had to look at the fact that in addition to the toy figures, the action figures, they also had to make replicas of the vehicles that were being used in the movies.
Okay.
The vehicles would have had to have been huge for a 12-inch figure.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm sure children wouldn't have complained.
They wouldn't have cared.
You know.
They would have been down for it.
The parents, on the other hand.
It's a lot. It's a lot, and probably would have cost a lot of money, too.
Yep.
So, Star Wars action figures were 3 3/4 inches tall.
Oh, they're small.
Very small. I remember I had a Lando action figure and a Darth Vader action figure. I remember I had
what
those.
Lando is, but cool.
Now, here was the deal, though, that George Lucas had and Fox had with Kenner. For every dollar the toys made, George Lucas and Fox would split a nickel, while Kenner got 95 cents.
Oh, it seems like a sweet deal for Kenner.
It's a very sweet deal for Kenner. When the film opened, it was an obvious hit, so Lucas and Fox got shortchanged on the toy deal.
I mean, clearly.
In order to get the product out to keep up with the demand, they had to start with picture-based products. They didn't have time to get all these action figures out to go and release the movie.
They made pictures of the toys and...
Well, they had puzzles or paint sets,
Okay, I guess
which
that
required
makes more
less safety
sense.
inspection.
I'm just like, here's your card with a picture of Darth Vader on it.
Yeah,
Have
pretty
fun.
much. But no, it was puzzles of Star Wars, paint sets of Star Wars.
Okay.
Things they could produce quickly.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
They also used a technique called label slapping. And that's where you take existing toys, changing some of the elements and putting a Star Wars label on it.
Gotcha. Like, we did learn about that in, what's it called? That show.
Toys That Made Us?
The Toys That Made Us, yes.
Well,
thank
yes,
you.
this is where I got that information from.
Gotcha. Oh, good. That was your research where you're like, I gotta go watch
something, yes. And I stayed up till midnight working on that.
You poor thing, you.
So, for example, they took a Red Baron shooting game and changed it to a Death Star shooting game.
Okay.
The full toy line didn't release until almost a year after the movie came out. There's a concern when you release a full toy line a year after a movie comes out that the interest is gone.
Right.
Nope, it still created a frenzy, even though it had been so long. But they were still working on the deal of splitting a nickel and 95 cents.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe that.
There's one prestigious Star Wars figure, and it's the rocket-firing Boba Fett.
Oh, whoa.
The reason this was such a big deal is because it was advertised prior to the second movie, and the character didn't appear until the second movie, but he did have a cameo in the holiday special.
Oh.
So no one knew who Boba Fett was yet, but the figure had been released. Here's the thing, though. When kids got it in the mail, it didn't actually fire a rocket.
Oh, boo.
The reason being is the figure never made it to retail because Mattel had a rocket-firing toy that proved to be a choking hazard, so Kenner didn't want to take on the same risk.
Yeah, but, I mean, so many disappointed children.
Yeah, but, you know,
I mean,
gotta
I
keep
get
it safe.
Safety, whatever.
Have you ever heard of Rancho Obi-Wan in California?
No.
So this is one of the largest collections of Star Wars memorabilia.
Oh my gosh, it's like nerd heaven.
Totally. They have over 400,000 pieces of memorabilia.
400,000?
400,000. And
How
almost
big is
every
this
toy
place?
from the entire timeline.
Whoa. I mean, but like really, how big is this place to hold 400,000 toys?
I mean, if you watch the show, like it essentially looks like a warehouse full of toys.
But is it like almost like a museum? Like people can go around and see them, or are they just all stored there?
I think people can go see it.
Dang.
There's even a Darth Vader that he reaches into his cape to pull out his lightsaber, but he's actually pulling out a toothpick and it's in his lightsaber handle.
Stop. That's so cool.
I got a chuckle out of that one.
I guess we could get that. Well, I'd be okay with
It's
that
probably
one.
super expensive now.
I know, probably. So maybe we'll pass.
So now we look at May 21st, 1980. Empire Strikes Back. That's coming out. Now this is the one where Luke is on the snow planet and cuts open the tauntaun and sleeps in his belly to stay warm.
Okay, I do remember that scene.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
how
they
could you
made a
forget it?
toy of a tauntaun with an open belly feature to put the Luke action figure inside of it.
Nice.
The original Millennium Falcon toy retailed for $24.77.
That was a lot though back then.
That was the most expensive toy in the line. And you think about back then, like that was a lot of money. I remember getting a Ghostbusters popper. My dad bought it for me. Like you put the little foam popper and you shot the little ghost targets. It was $12.99. And when we got home, my mom asked how much it was, and when my dad told him, I wasn't allowed to get toys for 2 weeks because it was so expensive.
Oh my goodness.
And it was a $13 toy.
2 weeks without toys.
2 weeks without buying a toy.
Poor William.
Yeah. There was also a micro collection. You remember like the little micro machine cars?
It sounds familiar. Is it
Yeah.
like boy version of Polly Pocket?
Not quite. So basically they're small little die-cast figures. So little metal
Okay.
figures that are painted.
Gotcha.
But that failed miserably, and Kenner lost millions on it, and the line canceled after 1 year.
Oh, bummer.
Now we look at the release of Return of the Jedi. There's 17 new action figures. There's
Whoa.
new vehicles. What they did to keep up with this, we talked about label slapping. To keep up with the toys, they repurposed a lot of Robin Hood Sherwood Forest toys that they had. So basically they took the same design and just repainted them.
Wow.
When you have something huge like Star Wars, there's going to be counterfeits.
Of course, clearly.
Yeah, there were lots of counterfeit toys. So there's a company called Uze from Turkey,
Ooh.
and they just left out letters on the names of the characters. So they had a Darth Vader and a Shea Baka.
I love it.
There are still Star Wart toys on the international markets.
That's hilarious. Did they look similar or like, I mean like,
Yeah, oh yeah.
you could,
It would straight up be like a picture of the toy, and then they just remove names so they didn't get in trouble.
that's so funny.
Now we talk about the toy company Hasbro.
Okay, I know that one.
Yeah. So they wanted to buy Kenner and some of their toy lines.
Okay.
And at this point, Star Wars was going stagnant.
Well, yeah, because George Lucas changed his mind.
Well, you know.
Rude.
But a new deal under Kenner was that they had to sell $10,000 in toys or send a check to Lucasfilms for that much money, whichever came first.
Ooh.
Hasbro didn't do that, so that gave the rights to the toys back to Lucasfilms. Then, George Lucas announced he was doing the prequel episodes, and Hasbro wanted to get the rights back for the toy line. The new deal gave Lucas, his royalty rate went from 5% to 18%.
I mean, that sounds more, reasonable.
Sure. This caused concerns that Hasbro wouldn't make a profit, but they did what they had to do to get the rights to the toys. They were banking that the new episodes would be great. After seeing the character of Jar Jar Binks, some people at Hasbro felt they made a huge mistake.
Yeah, I know that one did not go over well.
He did not. I couldn't stand him. Here's the expectation I had for Jar Jar Binks. My sister and my grandma had gone and seen episode 1 in the movie theater before me.
Yeah.
And my grandma kept raving about how funny Jar Jar Binks was.
Aw, that's cute.
It's cute, but it told me everything I needed to know that he probably wasn't as funny as she was making him out to be.
I did not know your grandma much when we first got together. I only got to know her just a little bit before she passed away, but knowing your family in general, can totally see this.
Right. Many found episode 1 of Star Wars to be boring, which caused even more concern.
Oh, womp womp.
Off the bat, collectors were buying the toys, but that only lasted a few months. And toy stores made discount bins for Phantom Menace toys.
Ooh, ouch.
Hasbro switched their focus back to the collectors and started selling toys from the original trilogy.
Makes sense.
So that's about the toys. And we're going to close it here thinking about the end of Star Wars.
Like the end-to-end, episode 9 end?
Maybe. So in 2008, George Lucas said there wouldn't be episodes 7 through 9. However, we did get the Clone Wars animated series. And in 2012, George Lucas sold Lucasfilms to Disney. So that was a lot of information.
That was.
Thoughts on Star Wars so far?
I mean, now I almost want to go watch some of it.
Oh, okay. We will.
So I feel like, how we did our Jurassic Park binge of all 5 movies?
All 5 movies, yep.
And then we did our Pirates of the Caribbean binge. And mind you, all of this is with our oldest, because clearly the 2 little ones.
Our 2 little ones don't have the attention span.
Yeah. So now I almost think we're going to have to do a Star Wars binge with her.
I mean, I think you can twist my arm, but I'm willing to do it here for you.
I think she would do it. But then my question is, do we start at episode 1 or episode 4?
I mean, really, it all depends on how you want to look at it. Because we could throw the anthology films in there, too. We could do it in release order, or we could do it in chronological order. I'll leave it up to you.
This is getting complicated. Can we just start at 1?
We'll just start at 1 and move our way up.
Okay, sounds good.
So, that's where we're at right now. A little bit of a history behind Star Wars, the toys, how the film series became here. Next week, we're going to look at how Disney acquired Star Wars.
Ooh, I love stuff like this. This will be interesting.
It's going to be fun. I'm excited.
Sounds good.
That's it for this week's episode of Ashes and Will Do Disney.
Don't forget, we need your mouse tales. If you have a funny, weird, exciting, or just a favorite Disney memory, send it to ashesandwilldodisney@gmail.com so we can read them on the show.
And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Ashes and Will Do Disney. This is a public group to follow. We're also on YouTube at Ashes and Will Do Disney.
Please subscribe, rate, and review wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thank you so much for listening, and have a magical day.